Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I want to do my June reset. It's been 2 months since I last posted a video on my channel because, one, I was in a reading slump because of this book right here, The Three Body Problem. The goal in March was to read this and compare it to the TV show that was coming out, but this took me so long to read and put me in a reading slump and made me not want to watch the TV show, so I didn't do that. I did end up giving this a 2-star, and what I'll do is I'll just add a clip of me talking about the beginning of this book because I'm not about to do a video on the book, I'm gonna be honest. It's been like a month and a half and I can't tell you anything about this book other than I have no desire to finish the series. So I'm currently reading The Three Body Problem, and this is a Netflix show that is going to be coming out this week, and I wanted to read the first book before I watched the series. I believe this is a sci-fi book. This is split up into 3 parts, and I know this is a trilogy. The thing is, the first part was very much political based. There's a lot of things happening. There are some things that are intriguing, but I had to start writing things down because I would forget. I think this is going to be a spoiler-free vlog. So yeah, I'm currently on page 104, so I'm in part 2, and it's now starting to get more sci-fi-y. What I am doing, so I can understand or remember, is taking notes of the book. If you are curious, for part 1 of how I felt after reading part 1, I said that I didn't really feel any connections to any of the characters, which makes sense because there are multiple characters' point of views, and there's no point of latching on to a character because they're most likely going to end up dead. I do want to say I'm listening to the audiobook while reading this, and the narrator is doing a fantastic job. They are really the person who is keeping me entertained. I would say there's a lot of content in here, but I would rather see it visually than reading it. So right now there's a lot of science talk, which I kind of follow what they're saying, but also when I watch movies and stuff, so kind of like Oppenheimer, because I do want to say they mentioned like the nuclear bomb and stuff like that. So when I watched Oppenheimer, it was easy for me to understand what everybody was saying, but in a reading form, it just feels like I'm reading a textbook and I'm not retaining any information, if that makes sense. And then I also said I don't like that there are random timeline jumps and then it goes back to like the present. So it's kind of like the narrator is the teacher of everything and he's retelling the history of what's happening, but then it'll go from like the narrator's perspective into like the character's storyline, and then it'll go back, and it's very confusing sometimes. But I do want to say, even though it's like confusing sometimes, it's the writing, other than science talk. If you're not into like scientific talk, then that's gonna go over some people's heads. But it's very easy to understand most things. I do want to say, now that I'm reading section 2, it's more into what's happening with the science field, and there's a lot of words that I don't understand. I'm like, okay, but I'm interested in the story now more than I was in part 1, because now we're trying to figure out why these scientists are basically, you know, offing themselves. And our main character, what is his name? I think his name's like Wang. He is someone who is working on nanomechanics, and he is recruited to spy on this group of scientists because a lot of people in the group have been found up dead, and they're trying to figure out why these people are dying. So I'm having fun with that. But I had in March like 10 books on my TBR, only read 1, and I didn't complete any of my goals except for building a bookshelf. So what I ended up doing that whole month was just watching a lot of Grand Theft Auto roleplay content, and I was having the time of my life. So I do have like a favorites section. So Dune came out, Dune Part 2 came out, loved it. And then all of this is just my favorite moments of the Grand Theft Auto roleplay that I watch. And then this was my goals for March. And then in April, what was happening was I watched a video of this person who had like 10 books on their currently reading shelf, and they did a challenge where they had to read a new book every day, and the goal was either to read out all of their currently reading books or have less, or read all their currently reading books and then have less on their TBR, or how much they currently had there, but new books. And I was going to do that. I created my currently reading list. I created goals. I don't know if all this has come through. I created like the week I was going to do, and the goal was to read for the whole month like that. So I'll have like one vlog dedicated to me reading every day, but based off of those books, I would have like mini videos to pop out during this time. And the thing is, I did read every day for that month. I have a spreadsheet. I have the dates read, the books, let's see, could you see it? The dates, the book title, the star rating, how many pages I read that day, and then on my currently reading shelf where I was at. And I did that the whole month. The thing is, I had a lot going on during work, and I didn't want to turn on the camera, I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I just read. So I completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 books, 3 DNFs, and I didn't film a single thing. I just read, I enjoyed my time, I found some books that I liked. I just didn't feel like filming, but I did get out of a reading slump. And I think I will do this challenge again, but the goal is to only read books that I currently own. Because what happened is I did a mix of books I owned, and then a lot of it was on Kindle Unlimited, because it's easier to read just scrolling. So I think the goal, if I ever do this challenge again, is to just do physical books. And then for May, I did the Asian Readathon, which I'm currently in the process of editing that video, and I'll post it this week, but I haven't really wrote anything for it. But I kind of completed all of it. This was the challenges. I had like 4 books I wanted to read, the prompts, and then these are the books. I read more than 4 books, but I had a good time, and I find a 5-star book. So I had a great time there. If you're curious to know what my favorite stuff of last month was, it's Demon Slayer. The new season came out, season 4. Having a good time there. I watched a new anime that's not really new. I think, or maybe it is new. It's called Solo Leveling. I finished it in a day, and I gave it 4 stars. And then instead of Grand Theft Auto content, I started watching Rust, which is like a survival game, but it was on a server, and these are the points of views of the server I was watching. But I had a good time last month. I'm just editing the video. This month, I already wrote down my June resets, right? So I already have 2 books coming from Book of the Month, and then the content for me this month, hopefully, fingers crossed, is I post this video, okay? I'm filming right now, I better post it. The second one is to post Asian Readathon, which I'll do this week. The other one is to post a vlog for all the LQBTQIA books I am reading. So I'll show you them right now on my TBR. I'll add more, but these are the ones that are on my shelves right now. So I have Every Word You Ever Said or You Never Said. I've had this on my shelf for at least a year. Do I remember what it was about? No, but honestly, it's a cover buy. I thought it was really cute. I feel like this is like middle grade, very young adult book. But this is a male romance. I have Bloom, which is a graphic novel, also male romance, and it just looks cute and cozy. I have Cleat Cute, which is a sports sapphic romance. It's soccer. This is the Illumicrate Afterlight romance box. I felt like reading a soccer romance. It does come with like a cute card of them. I'll show you. And then the other one I didn't realize was queer was The Dark Descent. And I don't really know what this one's about. I know it's about like horse races, and that's it. but it looks very creepy. So I don't know if this is like a romance book or like a dark romance book, because also in like the end pages, it doesn't look scary. Like, it looks very cute. So I'm curious to know what's gonna happen. So these are the books that I currently have on that list. More is probably going to be added because I've been scrolling through TikTok this morning, or not TikTok, on Twitter this morning, and people are posting like their TBRs, or like books that people would enjoy. So I'll give you like a preview. I'll show you what some are. So like this, right? So I have some saved. So I'll probably look through somebody's list and pick something. On top of that, there is a Romantasy Readathon going for 2 months. So it's happening in June and July. It's hosted by Tori, I think that's her name. I'll post the description. I'll post the video inside the description so you can learn more about it. But basically, it's Summer of Romantasy, and there's 35 challenges. You could either read 35 books or just like combine the challenges. And I'll probably combine them. I already wrote like my TBR and stuff for June. They also have a group book for the month on Fable, which is basically a book club app where like people will pick a book and you can post on every, can you see it? Is it showing? You can post on every chapter. So currently they are reading Beneath Black Sails, and I started it last night. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I'll put a picture here, but it's a pirate fae romance, and basically it opens up with like this girl who captures this pirate group who is like stealing people, kidnapping people to bring them into slavery, and she's like, I'm not for that. So she captures them. She is somebody who is most wanted. She has a high bounty on her head. And her goal now is, since she just captured more people, to go to her captain. And hopefully her captain will let her sail her own pirate ship. She'll still be like under his crew, but just in a separate ship. But when she gets to the place they're at, she finds this ship. And she's like, I want that. So she's going to commandeer it. Just to find out that that ship belongs to a pirate hunter who is actually after her. And they just met, and there's a lot of tension between them. But I'm excited for it. It's also kind of a quick read. So I also started Filthy Rich Vampire. I'm on chapter 5. And I also got the audiobook on Hoopla. I'm having this as my dark fantasy trope for the challenge. But it's also forbidden love. So it's between a vampire and a human. This vampire, Julian, wakes up after, I don't know, like 40, 50 years. And he's been asleep because he's basically trying to avoid his mother and like this deal she's trying to do where he has to marry someone, and he doesn't want to marry anyone. But he gets woken up and summoned by his mother because now he has to take a bride. So they're having like this big party. And at this party, there is this woman who is a cellist, and she's human, and he ends up like her blood scent is very in his face. So now he's kind of like addicted to knowing her, or wants to know her. But this other vampire comes along and basically tries to take her away. But he's known to be someone who kills his like humans when he drinks their blood. So he decides to intercept that and then take her away. And now they're arguing with each other. Like, he's using all his like compulsive powers to convince her to run away from the place because he wants her to be safe, because the dude's gonna end up hunting her, and she's just refusing that. It's very quick, it's very fun so far, and I'm enjoying my stay. I'm gonna continue reading this today. The other one I chose, I don't have it set for a trope yet, or a challenge yet, but The Wrath in the Dawn. And this is one of my best friend's recommendations and her book as well, so I could see what she's been tabbing or writing. So there's this book. There's also From Blood and Ash, which also I've been recommended. I'm using this one as, what was it? A book with a knife on the cover, so there's like a knife here. But it also could be like a chunky book. Like, I'm overlapping my challenges for sure. And I was supposed to read this in March for my 2022 book to read list. So I was supposed to read this a long time ago. I just haven't. So I plan on reading this one. I plan on reading Heartless Hunter. Most of the books, now that I'm looking at it, has a lot of hunters this month. There's a lot of people are being hunted. But Heartless Hunter I'm having for new release, and then also on Fable there's other book groups that are reading this month as well. And then I'm also reading, I was supposed to, this is a spoiler for the Asian Readathon vlog, but I was supposed to read this Dragon Fruit for that vlog. I ended up not finishing it, but I am on page 31, which is chapter 3, and I'm using this as new author. And I'll probably start it from the beginning since I'm rereading a lot of books. But those are all the books so far that I plan on reading this month. So I'll just hold them up to you. Let me just stack them. This is a lot of books. And some of them are a little bit chunky, but I feel like I'm going to finish a few of them faster than most. I do plan on going book shopping this month. So when is that going to happen? I don't know. But my goal is to read a few. I know I'll read this one today because I'm actually enjoying it. But other than that, let me know if there's any book recommendations you have for me, especially Romantasy, because I could also read them for next month because I'm going to do 2 vlogs for the readathon. And then I'll check in with you later. Like and subscribe if you want. Good day, goodbye.